Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto market. And what a time to be alive! We are now experiencing another systemic banking failure in the United States of America. We have multiple big banks, not the biggest of banks, but we have multiple big banks, such as the Silicon Valley Bank, going bust. They were ordered to shut down today, and it is causing turmoil in the stock market. And the crypto market has been selling off all week long, also experiencing panic and turmoil. So what is going to happen next? Is the Federal Reserve going to be forced to step in and bail out banks again like they did in 2008? Or will they be left out to dry and just all the depositors left without their money and just an overall systemic failure of banking? Very interesting time we are living in right now. I will be discussing how this is going to impact crypto prices, how it's already impacting them, and how it will impact them in the future, depending on what course of action is taken by the bodies that pretty much run the banking system, such as the Federal Reserve. So a jam-packed live stream today. Welcome everybody to the stream. If you're just tuning in right now, be sure to smash up that like button, and let's get right into it with our crypto market overview and take a broad look at the market. So big shout out to everybody today in the live audience. We got Jazzy, we got Rigoberto Chavez Jr., we got E&M, we got All Day Dre, we got Ostia Craig Lanty, Spacetime Jim, and David W, along with everybody else. Thank you all for being here. Happy Friday, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever the heck you are in the world. Like I said, a jam-packed show today, so thank you guys for being here, and smash up that like button if you have not already. Now, taking a look at the overall market, we can see the market cap is back below $1 trillion at $963 billion. Bitcoin trading at $19,891. That is pretty much exactly the all-time high price from the bull market of 2017. It is now being used as support. And Ethereum trading for $1,400, also close to that bull market all-time high from back several years ago, almost 6 years ago in 2017. And everything is red. We are experiencing a sea of red right now. All assets selling off quite hard. This is what I was discussing this previous Sunday, talking about the SEC labeling every crypto besides Bitcoin as a security. Well, it turns out there's even more to the story. They're trying to sue Qcoin, not the SEC, the New York Attorney General, which is actually much weaker than the SEC, because the SEC most likely did not want to take that case because it's kind of, they're just bending the narrative to exactly how they want it. So the New York Attorney General is going after Qcoin, as we see here. And I dug into this a little bit. They're declaring Ethereum a security, and they're trying to sue Qcoin because they need to register as a broker to sell securities. To me, this is just an attack, a petty attack. And worst comes to worst, I would say that Qcoin just needs to register as a broker, and maybe they get a slap on the wrist fine by the New York State Attorney General, and maybe they have to cease operations in New York State. But yeah, it's a lot of fear, a lot of fury headlines, a lot of panic, a lot of clickbait out there. So definitely dig into the true story. But as of right now, yeah, the market is in turmoil. Let's take a look at today's top gainers and losers. So we got Quenta, that's the decentralized exchange over on Optimism, up 19% today. MLT is up 15%. Now keep in mind, all these green numbers they're all bounces from heavy sell-offs, because this is the daily price change. Now taking a look at the losers, a lot of big losers. The Huobi Exchange, Justin Sun, a big kind of managing partner in the Huobi Exchange, that is pretty much going bust, with the Huobi token down. It is down 17% today, and on the week, yeah, I mean, this thing is down 56% on the year so far. So a lot of systemic failure happening. This is a big crypto exchange over in China. Their token price is just plunging through the floor, and crypto banks, Silvergate out of business, Silicon Valley Bank out of business, just complete turmoil right now. So let's go ahead and go over Bitcoin, look at this price chart. So let's take a look at Bitcoin here in this Coinbase price chart. And let's go to a weekly time frame. And on our weekly here, we can see our all-time high from 6 years ago, like I said, or over 5 years ago now, from 2017. That price is exactly $19,891. And if we drop this chart to a lower time frame, such as the 1 hour, we can see that this white line is that 2017 all-time high. And the price is just using that as support right now, just sticking to it. Hard crash yesterday, fell through $21,000, busted through 20K, and went ahead and it found some support over here at the previous all-time high from 2017. Now, at this current moment in time, there's definitely a lot of indication that we're going to have a bounce from this level. As you see here on Bitcoin, we have price just sliding down lower, making a series of consecutive lower lows. And on our lower time frame RSIs, a lot of altcoins look the exact same right now. But on the lower time frames, we do have some indication that price does want to bounce from here. Right, the RSI is getting stronger on the lower time frames as the price did continue to go ahead and drop. So we went ahead and tested the daily open a few times, twice already today, and both times were rejected. That is up here at $20,300. A daily close above $20,300 would be promising. And at the current moment in time, we have around 5 hours left until that daily close, but certainly a bleak looking situation across the board. This is a time of max fear, and max panic. And typically when we have times of max fear and max panic, it does provide a decent scenario for doing what the opposite of the herd thinks. A lot of people calling for the capitulation nuke from here, which is certainly possible. If we lost the 2017 all-time high and flipped this into resistance, then yeah, capitulation nuke is certainly in the cards. This is really kind of the last line of defense here before prices where we opened up 2023 with Bitcoin down here below 17K, right? This is kind of the next level on the chart. We also have this level over here around $18,500. This was the base support from before that big sell-off with FTX over in November, right? Price was holding $18,000. And then, of course, we had that little rally, and then it was just down from there to the bear market low after the FTX collapse. So, contagion is on the table because of the broad systemic failure that the fiat banking system is experiencing. People are wondering where their money is. They go to the bank to get their money out, and they're being told, oh, it's not here. It's gone. Sorry. So this is really kind of what you see in developing nations that don't have first world economies, and now we have it in the United States of America. But we've known that the dollar is in a downwards death spiral. We've known this for many years now, and we kind of forgot about that in 2020 and 2021 when the money printer was going burr and there was just free money falling from the sky. Everybody's getting free handouts. We forgot how bad the dollar was then because everybody was getting free money. But now in an environment where the money printer is shut off for U.S. citizens, it's still open for other worlds or other nations, right? The U.S. is still kind of printing money and giving it out in the form of loans to other countries. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. But the U.S. citizens right now, there's no free money. And for U.S. banks also, there's no free money. So we're experiencing now the effect of just excessive money printing for many, many years. And it's not going to end well. We've known that. That's why I'm so bullish in crypto. It's one of the main factors of why I got into crypto in the first place, because I would rather hold an asset that cannot be seized, cannot be censored, and does not rely on a third party to look over it for me, that we're now finding out they don't have the money that we give them. So crazy time. We can see from this article right here, the Silicon Valley Bank collapses after failing to raise capital. They collapsed Friday morning, which is today, after a stunning 48 hours in which its capital crisis set off fears of a meltdown across the banking industry. This is the largest shutdown of a U.S. bank since 2008, when Washington Mutual fell during the financial crisis. So Silicon Valley Bank was the largest tech lender. All of the Silicon Valley startups, tech companies, they all use the Silicon Valley Bank essentially to manage their money. They put their deposits in there. They took out loans from there. And now it doesn't exist anymore. They got ordered to shut down by California regulators today. And we can go ahead and see that this is not the only bank that recently went bust. Over here, of course, the crypto-focused lender Silvergate Bank, on Wednesday, they also shut down. So we're experiencing systemic failure of the banking system. The US dollar is not in great shape right now. If we take a look at the dollar chart, the DXY, the dollar is falling today on the daily time frame. All right, went ahead and swept the Monday lows over here. It did bounce, but fell back underneath the channel. All right, so the dollar showing some weakness now as well because it's in a death spiral. Not sure how much time it does have left. Maybe 2025 it can last until, but yeah, the dollar, I would rather hold proof of work cryptocurrencies as my money. Things like Bitcoin, Litecoin, stuff like that. But we'll talk about that later on in the stream. All you need to know for now is that the banks are failing. And we can see here that it's not the only bank. Bill Ackman saying that this is compared to the final days of Bear Stearns. That was the first bank to collapse at the start of the 2008 financial crisis. And also talking about rate hikes. Like, how is the Federal Reserve going to raise interest rates 50 basis points with everything in such bad shape? So, certainly a time of fear, peak fear in the market. As I said, Bitcoin trading at the 2017 all-time high price and is now back below it, actually, as we see. Price falling back beneath this all-time high. So if it goes ahead and it breaks this low today, we are certainly in for some trouble over here. If it breaks 19,568 and actually goes ahead and confirms a breakdown, then yeah, we're headed here. Our next level is 18,700. But really, it's just cascade after cascade. We went up. It was an elevator and then stairs up, and now it's just a free fall elevator down after hitting that 25K level on BTC. So we got Chris saying happy Friday, brother. What's up, Chris? How are you? Rigoberto saying smash the like button, y'all. Thank you, Rigoberto. Rigoberto asking, Connor, Litecoin or Filecoin, which one would you pick? So if you're talking like a long-term investment play, I would pick Litecoin. Reason why I would pick Litecoin, if we go ahead and take a look at this Litecoin chart over here. So Litecoin right now trading at $70.65. And this thing fell hard. This is the yearly open price. Litecoin opened the year of 2023 at 70 bucks. If you look at this thing on the weekly time frame, Litecoin's all-time high up here just above $400. Now, with the whole situation with the SEC calling every crypto a security other than Bitcoin, it is a little bit concerning. They're going to go after the bigger ones first, such as Ethereum. But the thing is with Litecoin is that it's a commodity. It cannot be declared a security. And also it's a proof of work crypto, meaning that it has about a decade now of transactions on the blockchain, and the network is secured by energy. It's proof of work. It's not proof of stake. All right. This is inherent value on the network. This is why Bitcoin has so much value. Right? This is why I'm such a huge fan of proof of work. So yeah, if I had to pick between Litecoin or Filecoin for a longer term investment, certainly Litecoin at $70 is very, very appealing to me. This is, as far as I'm concerned, it is on sale right now at $70. Right? Fell through all of the support that it built on its way up. Now right back to that yearly open price within 1 week. But yeah, to answer your question, Rigo, if I had to pick between Litecoin or Filecoin, Litecoin to me is less risky, and it does have a ton of upside potential. And also, let's not forget about the Litecoin versus Bitcoin price chart. Now, it is dropping. It did fall through support here. It is coming back down to test this trend line. Not a very good thing for Litecoin to fall so hard versus Bitcoin. But this can change very, very quickly. As we see over here, this is obviously in a bull market in 2017. Right, it will go vertical for several weeks at a time and just absolutely crush it. Now the thing with Litecoin is that Litecoin mines Dogecoin. All right, I'll get back to the regular stream. I just want to explain this. But Litecoin mines Dogecoin. If we look at Doge versus Bitcoin, it kind of looks similar to Litecoin versus Bitcoin before it had the parabolic move in 2020. All right. So my thesis has not changed for the overall Litecoin trade that I've discussed many times now over the past few months on the channel. I'm expecting Litecoin to move just like Dogecoin did. I'm expecting this type of parabolic move for Litecoin versus Bitcoin. If we go back to this chart. Now, this is a much longer time horizon. If you compare the Dogecoin versus Bitcoin move to the Litecoin versus Bitcoin move, this is a much overall longer time horizon on the weekly time frame. It has dropped lower, but the plan has not changed. The overall trade thesis has not changed. It may get delayed with all this fear and FUD and bear market turmoil, systemic failure of the banking system. It could temporarily delay what's going to happen, but my stance has not changed where I am expecting that parabolic type of move for Litecoin, for it to really, really outperform Bitcoin and get back up here towards the highs and possibly even break these highs. But to the all-time highs versus Bitcoin, it's got a 10x. So yeah, that should answer your question with my point of view, Rigoberto. Oh, and I just realized it's your birthday too, Rigoberto. Happy birthday. I didn't even see that comment. Happy birthday, my man. Hope you have an amazing day. Austin Craig saying, what do you think about ALU? They did connect with Unity like some other projects. Well, I haven't heard any announcements, but if we look at the chart, it's probably getting pillaged just like every other alt. And these are my sketches from the last stream when I was talking about ALU. And as we see, it did wick down to the bottom of this level here, right? This previous support at 1.8 cents. Wicked below and had a nice bounce today on the daily, but yeah, I can still see it coming down to around 1.5 cents down here. This is a very low cap coin, so it's going to get hit harder. It is much more volatile than your high caps. Keep that in mind. So, we already talked about the Silicon Valley Bank failing, largest bank failure since the Great Recession. And coincidentally enough, this is just 1 month after Jim Cramer was urging people to buy the Silicon Valley Bank stock. So, we know not to listen to Jim Cramer. That's obvious at this point. But what does this mean for the banking system? Look, stuff is breaking right now. Stuff is breaking very hard. People are left without their money. We got the CPI print coming up next week, next Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. And then the next following week, on March 22nd, on Wednesday, we have the FOMC meeting where the Fed is going to announce its interest rate hike. With everything breaking and falling apart, the Fed is really back between a rock and a hard place, and they're at the point where if they raise rates 50 basis points, it's just going to break everything even further. So most likely they're going to be forced to let up on things, which is a good thing. If they only raise the interest rate 25 basis points, the market should interpret that as a bullish thing, and that should inherently offer some kind of relief. But we have over 1 week until that, right? We have about 12 days, so FOMC Wednesday, March 22nd, and then we got CPI next week on the 14th. Certainly interested to see how these inflation numbers are going to come in. If they come back higher, it's going to definitely present some kind of conundrum for things, because higher inflation means that they got to keep raising the rates. But hopefully all goes well and it comes in lower. Regardless, there's a very high probability that we're almost at the point where the federal government, or I can't even say the federal government because the Federal Reserve is not federal, right? They're a private body that has nothing to do with the federal government. They also don't have any reserves. No bank has any reserves, as we're finding out right now. We already knew this, right? We knew that the fiat banking system was a total kind of sham, smoke and mirrors. Not everything is as it appears to be. But regardless, we're getting very close to that point now where the Fed is going to have to step in, flip on that money printer, and we should get some more helicopter money soon enough, as long as these fiat banks with American citizens' money in it, they keep on going bust. they're going to have no choice but to flip on that money printer and start to inject that back into the markets. So we could definitely be near the end here. It is always darkest before dawn, but at the same time, expect the worst, pray for the best. So let's go ahead and take a look at ETH here. Then we'll get into a ton of altcoins. I'll go over my thoughts on these. So if we take a look at ETH, again, going back to that 2017 all-time high level, literally using this 2017 all-time high to the T over here at 1374, as we can see. I'll go ahead and label this so it's very clear. Drop this back down to a lower time frame. So this line, this yellow dotted line, is the 2017 all-time high, and we can see the price bounced off of it perfectly. And again, just like BTC, if we take a look at things, it does have the recipe for a bounce. All right, it's not the time to short lows. If you short now, you are a late shorter. It has worked the past week where if you short the lows, you're going to make money because it's just been nothing but a straight up downfall. I should say a straight down downfall, not a straight up downfall. A little bit of a play on words there, a pun if you will. But yeah, ETH right now using that 2017 all-time high as support at 1365. We got some bullish divergence on the lower time frames. Price rejected off of the daily open here, but I'm actually in an ETH long from just below 1400. I got in at 1390. Stop is already at break even. But yeah, from here, I would not be surprised to see it bounce back up to $1,600. This is where I'm looking for ETH to bounce to, back up to where the week essentially started up here, just below 1,600. Definitely possible, right? We have all of the recipes for a bounce. 2017 all-time high support, bullish divergence. We're already down. We're already down over the past week, 18%. So certainly shorting here, I would consider that shorting the lows. And like I said, it's worked out this past week if you just shorted the lows on the lower time frames. But we're at the point now where I don't think that's going to work anymore. So I would be very careful if you're short from here. It can certainly work, as I'm saying, but I'm long. I'm long ETH right now. I'm also long Litecoin. Looking for some kind of relief bounce today. So that's kind of my overall thoughts on the majors, Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think the worst for now is behind us, right? We just had a 20% drop here, 20+% from the highs actually, right? This is 21% from the highs up here at 1730, 1740. So like I said, not a time to be a late shorter. We have all the recipes on a lower time frame for a proper bounce. So if you're thinking about opening up and shorting the lows into the weekend, I would just be very cautious about that one. Now, LDO Lido, I was speaking about LDO a ton during my last Sunday live stream because, of course, the SEC was rumored to be issuing Wells notices to all the major DeFi protocols, Lido, LDO, Uniswap. I'm sure Curve was in there. All the big DeFi protocols, they want to restrict them, all right? So because of that news, I went ahead and I sold 80% of all of the LDO that I bought just underneath $2 at the start of the week up here at around $2.50 in here. Now we can see it's back to $2.25. Surprisingly enough, this is holding up better than a lot of other coins, right? Litecoin, for example, I did not expect it to go ahead and drop so hard the way it did, right? Litecoin is typically one of the stronger assets in the market. Right, it held stronger during the bear market than most other coins. I did not expect this cascade sell-off of 25% plus from the start of the week. But something like LDO still sold off 30%, but it didn't even come down and break these lows beneath $2. But regardless, if they're actually going to get targeted by the SEC, if they're actually being declared a security, it could mean some trouble. And remember, the whole LDO thing was because of Ethereum staking derivatives, liquid staking derivatives. If they're going to attack Ethereum, if they're going to attack LDO, these coins, they're going to have a hard time. So as of now, I'm pretty much fully out, not 100%, but yeah, I'm pretty much fully out of LDO. So We'll see what happens with this one. I think it will come back down sub $2, as you see here. Came exactly to the first level at 220. It wicked as low as $2.07, but there's key levels down here below $2, and you have to assume that price will come back down and test these. So possibly I'll get back in, at around 180, depending on how things look when it does get there. But that's LDO, a little update for you. They probably did get served those Wells notices by the SEC. I assume they did. With everything happening, it's clear the U.S. government is scrambling to now get a foothold on the crypto market after just letting it be the wild, wild west for the first 13 years of its inception. Now here we are in 2023, and they're trying to gain control over a decentralized, trustless environment. So very interesting time, but yeah, like I said, LDO, we'll add another price marker over here. 180 at this point is where I would consider buying back in, but we'll kind of monitor the situation as we get closer to these levels. Now, I want to talk about a lot of AI coins too, because everything is in fire sale as far as I'm concerned. With Bitcoin sitting at the 2017 all-time high, with Ethereum sitting at the 2017 all-time high, altcoins all down 30% plus on the week. If we are going to go up and test the 28K level, then this is a pullback. This is a proper pullback to consider a reload before we get back up and break 25K. Obviously, it is well too early to assume that's going to happen from here. We need to watch and see how the price action develops first. But yeah, I mean, this is a major critical support level going back many, many years. So I'm expecting some kind of lower time frame bounce. Like I said, if we drop this back down to the 1 hour time frame, we have all of the recipes to get ourselves some kind of relief in the market here. Clear bullish divergence on Bitcoin here in the lower time frames on this 2017 all-time high support level. So we'll see how this one goes. Let me go ahead and catch up with this live chat. Omar, what do you think about Selena or Solana? Because I know a few Selenas and I like them, but Solana, we can go ahead and take a look at that. So Solana, same thing. I put this in the Discord this morning, but yeah, it had the recipe, right? It had exactly what we look for. If you guys recall from I think it was on Tuesday, I think it was Elvis who was asking me about Solana, and my thoughts on Solana from this previous Tuesday was that it was going to break the $20 level, and it did do that. Right, as you see over here, broke through this $20 support level, came down over here. It touched as low as $16 exactly, but now it is finding a foothold above 17 bucks. And same setup that we see on Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum. Majority of coins have this, right? It's due for a proper bounce, right? Clear bullish divergence here in the lower time frames. And this morning we had the jobs report. Unemployment came in higher than expected, which is somewhat bullish for the market. So we saw a nice proper bounce on Solana from here. But remember, if you guys recall from Tuesday, my overall game plan with Solana is I am bullish on the asset, but we need to see more confirmation before we really decide to trade this. And for me, the overall higher time frame confirmation that I want to see is I want to see a reclaim of the $20 support resistance flip level. Once that is established as support again up here above this green box, then we can expect Solana to break above 27 up here, hit 30, and really my target, once it can actually flip above 20, I think we'll be geared up for that next leg higher. And my target is up here at 37 bucks, possibly with a high of 45, but this is kind of the main target that I'm looking for. But we first need to see if Solana can flip, because it will come back and it will retest this $20 level, and it will be considered a bearish retest, right? Huge sell-off, big bounce right back into the key resistance on the chart. A lot of people are going to be shorting, but if it can hold strong and flip this back into support, then from there I can see it marching up, hitting 37 and maybe even as high as 45 up here in this supply zone. But yeah, Solana broke down beneath 20 exactly as we kind of discussed during the last live stream here in the channel just a few days ago, and bounced this morning on the jobs report announcement. We got Frank the Tank Degen with us saying, I got in ETH at 1383. Awesome, Frank. Nice one. Definitely caught that low. I'm in at 1390. Andrea saying, hi Connor, is Vela a good buy now or wait? So Vela, this is Waz, by the way. Waz down here. Again, in the last stream, I outlined this demand zone. As you see, price came and dropped right into it. So if you guys were planning on waiting for this to happen, it happened, all right? And it's still in the zone. So you do what you want to do. But as far as I'm concerned, that's a great price for Wazder. Now, if we look at Vela, okay, good question, Andrea. So as we see here, we got the critical structure break in price. We got the breakdown, trend line broke. That is your signal, basically, to have a ton of caution and, you know, basically expect lower prices. Now, this is certainly a good spot on the chart. I don't think anybody's going to deny that. Now, the only question is, how bad is it? How bad are things really? Are we going to nuke and capitulate? Because if we do, this thing's going to come back down below $2. Right? It's going to come down to this zone. But if we do get the relief bounces that I'm expecting to come into play soon, then over here, it did trade beneath $4. I would like to, if I was going to buy more of this, I would want to get it below 4. Right, it probably will retest below 4 again. But yeah, it's certainly in an obvious demand level. We can see on its march up higher. This was first used as resistance over here at $4. Broke out above, came back, double tested $4 twice before going all the way up here to $7.70. So yeah, $4, good level. I would wait until beneath 4, but yeah, that's Vela. And while we're at it, we'll look at Zyber Swap, another Arbitrum coin that did very well for us, and it almost did a full reset. Not quite a full reset, but if we look at Zyber Swap over here, this thing got smoked along with everything else. And I mean, what a run it did have, right? From 20 cents up to $22. That's 120x, and it has now retraced back beneath $4. All right, so getting back to these low levels, the next lowest price that it most likely will come and test is going to be around $1.70 to $2 is your next level of demand on the chart. So if you're looking for a re-up price on ZYB, it is certainly close. I mean, we're in a demand zone right now. This could be it, but the thing is, it is such a low market cap where if one person decides to exit a big whale, they can just send the price down here to $2. So that's why I like to set alerts. But it's in a very interesting spot on the chart. I think Zyber Swap's going to do great. If you guys are keeping up to date with what they're doing in their community and all the updates they're bringing to the exchange, they're really doing more than any other exchange. And their biggest competition is Camelot. And I mean, Camelot right now, they have their launch pad. They're launching project after project after project. A lot of people, you know, if you're investing in those Camelot pre-sales, they're not necessarily doing too hot right now. And to me, it's a little sketchy how they're just rapid fire launching new tokens. So I don't know. I like Zyber Swap, and as far as I'm concerned, it's the best decentralized exchange on Arbitrum. Already did super well, but yeah, right now it's in a re-up zone. Marabito asking about MINA protocol, which is a ZK coin. Let's go ahead and take a look at MINA. Here we go. Here's my marked up price chart. So MINA, along with the other ZK coins, have not been performing very well at all. MINA blasted beneath the February low price of 71 cents. Now it's at 62. So certainly a hard acceleration to the downside for this one. Let's take a fib measurement and see where we are in the overall grand scheme of things. And we had the bounce exactly from the 78.6. So that's somewhat encouraging here. And again, if you're shorting right now, you're shorting after a 50% crash. So it's just not a good time today, right now, to go short, right? The time to do that was any time this past week or the week before that. But right now you would be shorting lows. Now, a good bounce from the 78.6, 52% crash. Let me see the lower time frames. A little bit weaker than most here, but at the same time, we have this classic kind of market structure here setting up where we want to see it go ahead and break this trend line and do a little bump and run where it bumps off as support again on a retest and then starts to run up from here. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a classic bump and run setup panning out on the chart. Just sliding down. 52% crash, bouncing off the 78.6. This is, I mean, unless the market is really that weak right now, it should at least get back up to around 67, maybe even touch the February low at 70 for MINA. But if it does just continue down lower because it is that weak, you have the 88.6 down here at 51 cents, very close to 50 cents. Round psychological number, which also lines up with that previous bear market support before FTX crashed. Or no, actually, this was after the FTX crash, but then we had the sell-off in early December. But anyways, this is a level of support down here in the 88.6 zone, right around 50 cents. So depending on how weak this is your next level to the downside. But on the lower time frames, it does look like it's setting up for a bump and run. Keep it tight if you want to trade this, right? Keep a very tight stop. It's even still beneath the lows, that's 5%. But back up here, it's a 17% gain. So it still would be a 3-to-1 if you get the bump and run. But I think some other charts were offering better risk reward, and ideally you want to get in as close to those lows as possible. So time maybe is past unless you want to risk 5% on the trade. Andre saying crypto needs to get out of the US ASAP. Yeah, I mean, the thing about crypto is that it's not really in the US, it's on the blockchain. The US can kick their feet and throw their hands all they want, like little children. But the thing is, at the end of the day, the blocks are going to keep on getting mined on all the proof of work coins. The proof of stake coins are a lot easier to go after. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, I agree. I mean, if you're a crypto team, the US is not the place to be at all. Frank the Tank says, Wells notices never got sent. That guy retraced his statement and took down that video. It was not true. Frank, I am aware of that. Certainly am aware that he said it was just a rumor, etc. But it does kind of have some weight with, yesterday's news of the New York Attorney General declaring Qcoin and Ethereum. They're declaring Ethereum a security, and they're saying that Qcoin was selling unregistered securities without being registered as a broker in the U.S. So it's said to be a rumor right now, but it very well could be true. It's my speculation that it's true, of course, but we'll see what happens when more news comes to light. We got X Shadow Media saying, would you buy a Monero at this price or wait a bit more? Now, a lot of talk about Monero recently. Inside of my internal groups, and Monero down here at $130, certainly an appealing price to me. Now, the thing to consider with Monero is that it's a privacy coin. We know the government hates privacy coins because it's fungible, and we can't see when a transaction was sent, how much Monero was sent, right? We can't see any details about any transactions or see anybody's wallet balance value, which is very good for the user But if you want to tax everybody on all of their every single move they make with their money, then it's not good from a governing body standpoint. So they're going to come after Monero hard, which long term is very bullish for Monero, because as a proof of work crypto, it's not going anywhere. It's still being actively developed. It's still being, worked on to this day to become more and more secure. Just as they're trying to figure out how to crack the code, the Monero developers will continue to make it stronger. So there will be a lot of pain, I think, in the short term here over the next few months or years, because there will be a privacy coin crackdown. So maybe it makes its way down here to 125. But to answer your question specifically, would I buy now or wait more? Just like our other coins we've been watching, and it does have what we like to see for some kind of relief bounce here on the chart on the 1 hour time frame. I think it can come down to 125, but at the same time, $130, long-term speaking, great price for Monero. If you look in the past, this level has been used a plethora of times as support and resistance. This is a key level on the chart over here at 130. So as somebody who values my privacy, exchanging fiat money, this is the question you need to ask yourself. You have money in your bank account right now. It's how you pay for your life, your lifestyle. You pay your mortgage, you pay your rent, you pay for your groceries, you go on trips, you spend it all from your fiat bank account. You don't want to save in fiat, all right? You want to save in assets that will have value over the long term that cannot be confiscated or seized from you. Monero is one of the best assets to do that, all right? So if you're wondering if you should get your money out of the bank and where to put it, then yeah, it's an option. This is all I'm trying to say. This is not financial advice or anything like that, but I'm just making it a point to say that would you rather hold fiat money that you actually don't own in your bank account, or would you hold an asset like Monero and exchange $132 of fiat for one Monero? To me is like a no-brainer, because I have conviction on where Monero is going over the longer term, and trading in $132 of fiat money that can literally be taken from you in a bank failure and you're left with nothing, you're left hung out to dry, it's a no-brainer exchange swap for me. Same thing with Litecoin at 70. It's a no-brainer. 71 now, good to see. I'm long Litecoin. So yeah, to answer your question, 130 bucks. It's a no-brainer for me. So we have Marabito asking about the Graph GRT. Guys, if you're enjoying the live stream so far, go ahead and smash up that like button. You can definitely get the likes up here. And GRT, a bit stronger than most, it seems, today, in the fact that it's holding pretty high near the daily open over here at 11.7 cents. Now, you guys just saw me draw that bump and run pattern. I believe it was on MINA. And essentially, this is what you would look for in something like, where the graph already kind of did something like that, where it was sliding. It was slipping and sliding, having a hard time getting up. Broke above this trend line, had a hard lower retest of this demand zone, right? You can call this the bump, right? It breaks out the bump retest. Now it's trying to run. All right, so it's clear what's happening. We have a horizontal level, right? This horizontal level is the daily open price up here at 11.7 cents. So if GRT can go ahead and break out above this daily open, then it should be able to get back up at least to this supply zone. And this would be your exit basically for a day trade. And this is at 12.6 cents. So again, for these types of trades, it's best to get in on the initial breakout or on the retest. It's still not too late though. The only problem is if you try to enter GRT now, you're going to have a lot of room between your entry price and your stop loss, which just means increased risk for yourself. But the target's clear for a small little kind of scalp, right? I would put my stop beneath this wick, target this. It's not great. You got a 1.85 to 1, so Yeah, I mean, the time to be long was from earlier today, definitely, but it's not too late. You're going to be entering late from here, but we should bounce as far as I'm concerned. Now, GRT in the higher time frames, from high to low, it's down 54%. And the way it looks right now is not too bad. On the daily, we just went ahead and sweat this low over here at 10.911 cents. So if the daily candle can close where it is now or even higher, then this is a bullish sweep. And somebody who's expecting a bounce now across the market, it looks good to bounce further from its current price, back up into this green area at around 12.5 cents to maybe even as high as 14, 13 to 14. But GRT, if we're going to talk, waiting for better levels to re-up and reload for the next kind of leg higher, you have to assume it would come back down. Now, the original breakout level for this was this yellow line at 8.8 cents. A lot have coins like Oasis Rose, have fully come down to their kind of initial breakout level from this overall bear market rally that we had from the start of the year. GRT, that level is at 8.8 cents on this chart. All right, so if you want to wait, then set your alerts from 9 cents and down. All right, and once you get 9 cents and down, you can go ahead and consider re-upping if you want to invest in GRT for the course of that next bull market. And Rigoberto asking about AGIX Singularity. So same thing, it's an AI coin. All the AI coins pretty much look identical on their charts. Let me pull this up. This chart, not what I want. Let's get the KuCoin chart up here, please. Here we go. So AGIX from high to low, same thing as GRT, 57%. GRT was 54%. So all these coins are down over 50% from their high prices. This thing falling off a cliff now. Roll over. Go to the weekly. And on the weekly over here, so looking at it from this perspective, 25 cents is the place to put limit orders. That's what I would do, at least. Let's see if we can get our magnet tool here, right here. All right, 25 cents over here. Let's get rid of this Spaceman key level indicator for a second. 25 cents, if we look at this, would be the wick from its rally up, that high wick, previous resistance. I can see it coming back down to this level. You want to see it, it probably will overshoot. Price does tend to overshoot, especially during times of peak fear, peak panic, etc. Now, one thing to consider here is how this weekly candle is going to actually go ahead and close. I'll go look at the Bitcoin weekly candle in a moment, but if we can get AGIX to close above this previous low at 33.5 cents, then it may be safe to assume that it wants to continue up higher. All right, this would be a weekly swing failure pattern. Sweep that low, but this daily candle needs to close above this orange line. All right, if you look at this from the lower time frames, we can put this candle or this line exactly at that low. And as you can see, this is being used as resistance right now. So watch how the weekly candle is going to close, Rigoberto. If the weekly candle closes above this level at 33.5, then maybe it doesn't break this high, but I would expect at least some kind of bearish retest up here towards these high prices over here as well. That previous all-time high is 63. You can at least get some kind of proper bounce. But again, watch how the weekly candle is going to close. You want to see it close above 33.5 cents. Kevin James, what are your thoughts on privacy coins like Pirate Chain are? Just like with all proof of work cryptos, I talked about Monero already, but Pirate Chain, it's not immune to the bear market. Right? If we go ahead and take a look at this in the higher time frames, so interesting, very interesting chart here. Reason I say that is it came right back down to this lower support trend line that's been used repeatedly over the bear market, right back to this level. So this thing is at the bottom, right? It's that new bear market low prices. My thoughts on Pirate Chain and its fundamentals have not changed at all. I like privacy coins. I value privacy. I think it has a bright future ahead, but it will go through a ton of turmoil. It's going to get attacked and targeted hard. Every exchange is probably going to end up delisting it, but it's a good thing we got DeFi and on-chain, cross-chain swaps to negate the use of centralized exchanges. But yeah, every centralized exchange probably going to delist Monero, probably going to delist Pirate Chain. We've known that for years. I've expected that to happen, but guess what? It does not stop that next block being mined, and it does not stop the network functioning properly where you can just trustlessly send money across borders privately. So yeah, just like Monero, Pirate Chain, fundamentals for privacy coins have not changed at all. Another privacy coin, which isn't really necessarily a privacy coin, but it does have privacy properties, is Oasis Rose. And if we look at Oasis Rose, like I was saying with GRT, GRT's breakout level was 8.8 cents. Over here in Oasis Rose, that level was around 5.4 cents. This yellow solid line is what I was using back over here. If you guys recall, when I first made my Oasis Rose video in February, the price of Rose was right beneath this yellow line. It broke out literally the next day, had a good pump, but it's fully retraced that, right? It pumped 59%, 60%, and now it's went ahead and it sold off 46%. And a big reason why I think this one sold off more accelerated than the other altcoins is because a few exchanges went ahead and delisted it along with other privacy coins. So it does fit that narrative where it can be put in a category with things like Monero and Pirate Chain. But overall, again, it's not necessarily going to have a major impact on the long-term implications of the protocol. So as far as I'm concerned, right down to this blue solid line, I went ahead and labeled this prior. Right, I labeled this a long time ago at 4.8 cents. This is a level, as far as I'm concerned, to look to accumulate on Oasis Rose. Andre saying, I was always thinking why Sailor only buys Bitcoin. Now we have the answer. Yeah. If we're going, again, coming back to the banking system failing, what would you rather put money in that you want to save for the long term, right? An asset like the US dollar, which can get printed into infinity. It's already been printed and hyperinflated into infinity. And now if you put it in the bank, everybody around the world is now learning, especially in the US, that it's not actually your money in the bank. Fractional reserve banking, as of 2020, they said that you need to hold 0% of customers' deposits, meaning that money is literally fake. So what would you rather put your money in? Your fiat notes, a trustless asset like Bitcoin, Litecoin, etc., Monero, or keep it in the bank? The answer is obvious, right? That's why Sailor is so bullish on Bitcoin. That's why he has been so bullish on Bitcoin. It just makes logical sense. And if we look at Blur over here, Blur is getting smoked. Here we go. So Blur. This cup and handle never did play out. It did have a nice little breakout, but it just lost all momentum and it's just been slowly selling off. People just dumping their airdrop tokens essentially. A lot of people who bought this are also dumping their tokens. So it bounced from 45 cents. I do have this orange line here at 35. And I have to assume it's because I dropped this down to a lower time frame and examined. Yeah, that's exactly why. As we see in the 15-minute price chart, this 35-cent level is a key low, right? It was the low of a huge retracement. So If we know that that's a key low in the lower time frames, see, this is weaker than a lot of altcoins because there's so much selling, because everybody was just airdrop the token for free. So there's more selling pressure than a lot of other coins out there. So that is definitely something to consider. And that's why I think it is possible that it comes down to that key low in the 15-minute time frame at 35 cents. So the selling just started to accelerate yesterday and today. As we see, it was kind of like a gradual rollover. Then it bounced, and then it was straight down. All right, so I would wait for 35 cents, long story short, or at least sub 40. Harps asking for Pirate Chain. We just looked at that one. Hope you saw that, Harp 78. Andre saying, breaking news, Jim Cramer just tweeted JP Morgan is a fortress. Yeah, I saw that. Sell all JP Morgan stock is what he's trying to say, I suppose. And Reverend Flashback with us saying, hi Connor, my hero, how are you? I'm doing great, Reverend Flashback. Appreciate you being here, appreciate your support. And AVAX. So another one with a 38% fall. As you see, it sliced yesterday this 1550 level. Got a small bounce, but the selling pressure was way too much, so it just sliced through it. Came right back down to this weekly open from December 4th. And yeah, just like this was a good coin to look for a bounce on this morning. Still not too late again, but you're not going to have that optimal entry. Just like Bitcoin, just like Ethereum, Litecoin, Solana, AVAX, all of the majors and mid caps, their charts looked pretty much the same this morning at the time of the jobs report. Right, everything just sold off so hard. You had these lower time frame bullish market structures, and they all kind of bounced. Now this is forming a bullish continuation pennant. Take your measure, move flag pole. It would take it right up to 1582, which lines up perfectly with resistance over here, 1575. So this looks likely, right? And this is like the same exact setup with Solana, where you're just kind of looking for a move to this key pivot high on the 1 hour chart. And this is at 1570 on AVAX, all right? So if you're day trading this, this would be your target. This is where you would look to get out and just kind of relax for the weekend at that point. But your next target to the upside, this is bullish continuation, bullish consolidation. 1570 would be the target for this little scalp. And on the higher time frames, now, anybody that knows AVAX knows that in 2021, when it first started to pump, 10 to 13 bucks over here. I have it outlined in green already. $13 down to 10 bucks. This was, it consolidated here for around 3 weeks in January of 2021. And then it also came down here during that summertime correction in 2021. And this was the bear market low as well over here. Okay, so another retest of this area wouldn't surprise me, because this is what it loves to retest when the market crashes. And it just busted through the golden pocket, and your 78.6 is going to be down here at $13.16. So in the higher time frames, you know, it's at higher time frame structure support here. Down 38% from the highs. A lot of doom and gloom out there, which is certainly warranted. But again, if you're shorted now, you are way too late to the party. Everything kind of setting up for lower time frame bounces. Everything's down 30, 40, 50, 60% from their highs just a few weeks ago. You can see AVAX just retesting the support structure. So as far as I'm concerned, this should bounce, like I said, back up here around 1570. From there, we'll take it day by day. It can certainly come back down sub 14 bucks. But for now, the recipe is there to see a bullish or maybe a bearish retest of this level. Then when we get up there, we can consider shorts back down lower. But the way things are now, I expect it at least to get back to 1570. Andre is saying, this is the reason why property market is not crashing, is people are getting out of fiat and invest in assets. Yeah, that's one reason. They're certainly not making any more land. Real estate is a very scarce asset. Housing is always in demand. I mean, but a big problem in the US when it comes to the housing market is just the utter lack of inventory. There's so little houses available for sale on the market that if something good comes to the market and it's properly priced, it just sells the first week it's on the market. So the housing market right now, for a multitude of reasons, I would say the biggest thing causing prices to sustain these such high levels is just the fact that there's so much demand and so little supply. It's basic supply and demand. I teach this on my channel in regards to how to trade the crypto market, but the thing about supply and demand, it can be applied to any market, and with housing it's just obvious. There's just, even with high interest rates, doesn't mean people don't have money. Buyers can pay with cash. That's what happens over here all the time, especially near where I live. A lot of cash deals happen, and there's just so little inventory where it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that interest rates are so high because prices are just, they're staying so strong. But yeah, that's real estate. I can talk about that all day too, but we'll save that conversation for another day. Andre saying, Connor, when a positive live stream, when the market is confirmed bullish, right? Like I was saying this past Sunday, if you guys watched my Sunday live stream, I had a very, very bearish tone there. I got some trolls in my comment section saying, buy everything now. Now's the time to buy. So fearful. And I just said straight up, like, nah, this is a time of of caution, and yeah, expect a move like we had, and we'll be positive when it's time to be positive. But for now, we got systemic banking failure in the United States of America, fiat money collapsing before our eyes. Now, a new token just launched today called Crypto GBT. This is from the DAO Maker Launchpad. And long story short, this is a ZK rollup layer 2 artificial intelligence altcoin, and I mean, it just launched this morning, and the pre-sale price of this thing from DAO Maker was half of a penny, so it's at 5 cents now. So it did a 10x from that. But the thing with the DAO Maker projects is they tend to crush it. This is the first one that I'm actually participating in. I bought it spot this morning. But their other most notable recent one was the Primal token. And Primal, right, they launched this over here back in December. But, this thing crushed it. Depending on where you got in, you made multiples. But anyways, I'm going to see what's going to happen with this GBT one. Certainly horrible market conditions for something like this to pump. But it has all the narratives going for it, and they tend to do super well with their kind of incubation projects. So yeah, I'm gonna see where this one goes. I encourage you to check it out for yourself. Certainly interesting, right? Pops up out of nowhere, but all their projects tend to do well. If we can get some kind of flip in the market and go bullish again, and for AI coins especially, then I think that one can do super well as a low cap. Marabito saying, is Aptos still good? So I mean, Aptos, depending on how you looked at it, was never really good. Right? It was just a heavily VC-backed coin that was the chosen one to get pumped by whoever that was, call it the Binance cartel, whoever decided to do this. But yeah, they ran this one up super hard from $3 all the way up to $20. Now sliding off of a cliff, right? Just slowly selling, slow gradual rollover. So I mean, is Aptos still good? if you guys know me and watch the channel, I never really said it was good. I was always highly skeptical of it. So I don't know if it's still good. I never really thought it was great. So if you draw it like this, then it's a bullish descending wedge. And it's also retesting this previous supply zone, right? The previous high before it got hit in the bear market, right? This was the launch pump. Then FTX crashed, came down to $3, but this was that local high at that point at $10. And now this is being used as support. All right, so resistance flipped into support on Aptos. Probably going to crush it. Probably going to crush it in the bull market. I don't own any of this. I did not participate in this whole, 6x pump up from the bottom. If this area holds as support, if this holds, then it could go up for at least a retest of the highs at around 18. I want to check where the monthly open is. Okay, the monthly open is up here at 1188. This is where it opened the month of March. So at the very least from these prices, we can maybe see $12 again. And that would line up with the top of this wedge resistance. But yeah, Aptos, maybe this was just a foreshadow of what's going to happen in the actual bull run. But the way this looks, retesting this, like I said with all the other coins we've looked at, this is the spot where you don't want to be a late shorter, right? Yeah, you short from up here, great, but shorting at this level just does not make any logical sense, so it should bounce. Magically saying, what do you know about Excalibur on Arbitrum? I know nothing about Excalibur on Arbitrum. Nothing about that one. Rigoberto saying, thanks, Connor, for the info. No problem. No problem, Rigo. Anything for you on your birthday, my man. Happy birthday again. Riley Hall asking for Kava. Okay, so Kava. Interesting. I haven't checked this today. Maybe I should have checked it this morning because it is doing well. Where's the daily open? Okay, daily open is here. Same price as the monthly open. Very interesting, Kava. Kava's up 9% on the day. 10%, 11% versus Bitcoin. INJ is also up 11% today. So these are the coins that are performing well right now. And yeah, I have not looked at Kava all week long. But it looks like it did its crash last Friday when we had that initial sell-off. Seen a strong rally back into the supply zone. Just the total opposite of all the other charts. All right, Litecoin at 71.36. That's good. What's ETH at? ETH at 14.18. All right, nothing crazy, but yeah, Kava 9% right now. So obvious that we're coming now and we're approaching this resistance level. So I mean, again, you would be late to long. You would be longing right at the red box, which is a no-no. This is a no trade for me at this point. If we're going to do anything, we got to be patient and wait for it to get to some kind of low or key support. And on this chart, that level would be over here at 85 and 1/2 cent. Just here. Lines up perfect with the daily open. Right, if you're going to try to trade this, you got to wait for a pullback at this point. And I would look for this key low here. Also, if you just look to the left, clear horizontal level. I'll drop a line so that you can see that for yourself. Right, just a clear horizontal level on multiple occasions. So that's what I would play on Kava, but interesting to see the strength in a market that's so weak. It bottomed out last week. Yeah, I mean, maybe it gets up to 95 today, but I would say that the most of this move is now past on Kava. Cambo Zone saying, glad to see you, sir. What's up, Cambo Zone? Good to see you in here as well, my friend. Andre saying, if we see Bitcoin nuke to 12 to 14K, that's an amazing entry considering we're 1 year away from the halving. Let's say if JP Morgan collapses and gives us those prices. Yeah, JP Morgan collapsing, that would be like bigger than Bear Stearns collapsing. I don't know if that's going to happen. Certainly smaller banks like Silicon Valley Bank going down isn't that, it's a little shocking, but something like JP Morgan going down would be an utter shock to the system. And that would cause capitulation, one, right, where we would see Bitcoin most likely come down to those levels. But two, it would cause the Federal Reserve to step in and start bailing them out. And what do they do when that happens? They print money from the sky. QE, quantitative easing. All right, let's look at some AI coins. First, we're going to look at FET, then we'll look at Ocean. And here on FET, coming over back to this structure at 30 cents. Right, FET from high to low, crashed 50%, 51%. Buying a great asset at a discount is never a bad thing. Maybe it comes down and tests 25, right? That's obviously even better. But look, FET, like I've said multiple times here in the channel for multiple years now, I got FET going to $3 to $5. I think $3 to $5 is very attainable for this coin, especially in a bull market. And $3 from here is around a 9x. So certainly still some money to be made on this, but you got to be patient with it. FET's always been a long-term play for me. But as you can see here, broke below this channel, and then it sold off right to 30 cents in this structure. But 25 cents would be ideal if you want to like really load up heavy for this one and anticipate the next bull run. AI is not done. AI really, you only saw the first pump. There will be another AI pump this year, most likely. One big AI announcement is going to send all of the AI coins in a frenzy. FET at the top of the AI list, along with AGIX, also along with Ocean. And then like I brought up, GBT, Crypto GBT, fits right into the narrative, which is why I'm going in such a risky asset. But yeah, FET over here, reload zone 30 to 25 cents. And then Ocean, very bullish on Ocean still, stance has not changed. Right? I mean, this was just played perfectly. Like this was played literally perfectly by myself. Got in over here at 23 cents. Target hit exactly. Now it's down 50% like all of the others. High to low, 50% exactly. All right, and it came right to this line at 30 cents. Really kind of the same exact thing as FET here. So again, same exact thing. If you look on the chart, where's the key low? Where's the next key low? It's at 25 cents. Perfect psychological round number, 1/4. So if you're going to reload or get in for the first time, 30 cents marked prior, certainly an interesting level. We're already seeing a bounce. And all the charts that I've showed you, okay, so this one actually didn't have any bullish divergence. As you can see, the RSI actually got weaker. But regardless, it had that same kind of look. And again, this would be the bump and run. I showed you the bump and run on a few coins in this stream. And it's very simple what you look for on the bump and run. All right, you look for the breakout. When you see price just slanting down like this, just put a trend line to make it much easier to see. All right, put that trend line on the chart, and it's simple. If you're bullish, you want the trend line to break. This was not really a clean retest. It retested the horizontal over here at 29.30 cents. From that, it went ahead and it started to pump over here at resistance. And again, the target, if you're in this already, too late to long from here, but the target for your day trade is going to be this supply zone at 34 cents. So this is an example of the bump and run working out. I forget which coin I showed it to you on that didn't do it yet. It was earlier on in the stream. It was like an hour ago now. Time moves very quickly when I'm doing this. But yeah, Ocean, FET, AGIX, those are like the top AI coins as far as I am concerned here. CR08 saying, Lepa made it to the #1 stream. What's up, CR08? It is good to see you here, my friend. Thank you for all of your support and comments in the live streams and all my videos. Cambo Zone, do you know what happened to HT? Huobi token, Justin Sung pulled out $60 million from it. Who knows? Another exchange doing their shady business operations. It's a Chinese exchange, so it has nothing to do with the United States. But still, I just know that Justin Sun pulled out $60 million, I believe, from it, and it's causing some kind of turmoil over there. And Andre saying, Russia just announced they will allow international trade in Bitcoin and crypto from July. Doesn't really surprise me. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. US dollar, it's in a death spiral. Maybe it has a few years left at this point. If the Fed turns on the money printer again, it's just going to accelerate the death spiral. So again, I love proof of work. I love Bitcoin. I love Litecoin. I love Monero. My sleeper pick, my sleeper proof of work is Snow Blossom. Everybody in my Discord knows that. This one, just like things like Litecoin, this has been around for around 6 years. A savant named Joe Gleason is the founder. He was a Bitcoin developer back in the day. He's worked on the Bitcoin core code before. But anyways, he went ahead and made his own version of a proof of work crypto called Snow Blossom. The guy's a savant. He's like a math genius. He's not sociable at all, but he created Snow Blossom. So if we're going to talk proof of work, don't ignore it. Look into it. Do your own research for yourself. Nobody knows about it. Nobody ever talks about it. But I have done some thorough investigation into it, and it checks all my boxes. So I like Snow Blossom for a low cap proof of work crypto. You're not going to see it talked about on crypto Twitter. Nobody's going to talk about it on crypto Twitter. It's not like Caspa where they paid a ton of influencers to just talk about it all at once. It's literally like a savant math nerd genius created it, and it's got 6 years of transaction history on the network, all proof of work, energy backing the network, making it an actual cryptocurrency and not an ERC20 smart contract token created out of thin air. Like I said, it's got 6 years of history, energy put into that network, and that is what gives a blockchain value. That's what gives Bitcoin and Litecoin so much value. It's also a commodity. They cannot declare it a security. So yeah, Andrea, good share there telling us that Russia just announced they're going to allow international trade in Bitcoin. That's big news. Doesn't surprise us. Bob Hawk, great show. Is Ocean good still? Yeah, Ocean, I just covered that one. Definitely still good. We'll look at one more coin before we go ahead and wrap this up. We'll look at Stacks, STX. Related to Bitcoin, ordinals, etc. And yeah, it sold off super hard. Somebody asked me about this one. My Discord group, and yeah, it was in that supply zone. Sold off. If you look at this, just like I showed you with something like Ocean, where the key low was beneath 25 cents, right? The key low on Stacks was over here, the bottom of this demand zone. This wick is the key low. Notice on the higher time frame, on the daily, it's a sweep. On the 4-hour chart, it closed beneath but quickly reclaimed it. If you look at the 12-hour, the 12-hour too closed beneath it. Daily gives a better picture of the sweep. But STX, nice retracement after hitting that initial supply area after a huge run up. 50% retracement. And higher, you have your next key supply area at $2. So, yeah, and also this was, I mean, this just hit so many higher time frame support levels over here. 54 cents, 50 cents. So STX bouncing from a logical point on the chart, you would expect it to bounce from this level, just looking at it, and it is doing that. Now, if things get really bad and roll over further and we get capitulation, then I would expect STX to come down here to 30 cents, right here. But that's if we get the doomsday capitulation scenario. We're already bouncing. So from this bounce, we can even get as high as 70, 75 cents back in that Monday range. Yeah, you can see I already have these levels on in the supply zone for STX. So it will get back up here to 250. Though the path that it takes, I don't know. I don't know which one it's going to do, one or two. But logical point on the chart right now to bounce from. But if we get capitulation, 30 cents is where it's going. Anyways, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the live stream right now. So I greatly appreciate everybody being here on a Friday. Thank you for taking some time out of your Friday afternoon and being here with us at Crypto Empire. I hope you all enjoyed the live stream. A lot to unpack right now, a lot going on, a lot of doomsday talk all over crypto, Twitter, all over crypto, YouTube. Everybody saying the sky is falling, Chicken Little. Usually during these periods of maximum fear, if you're late and you sell or short now, you usually get waxed with a hard bounce. So not the time to panic, sell things, right? The time to do that was earlier in the week. Now we're all at higher time frame supports. Everything's setting up for bounces. So just, if you held this long and you sell now, you might really regret it if we have a proper bounce, right? At least wait for a bounce if you just want to get out and forget about everything. But that's all, right? That's all for today. I will be making some videos this weekend, and I also will be back here on Sunday for our usual Sunday live stream. So if you're brand new to Crypto Empire, of course, subscribe to the channel right now and turn on all the notifications so that you don't miss any future videos or live stream stuff like that. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate your support. And I'll see you all in the next video. We got Harry just coming in now. Hey, Connor, another great live stream. What's up, Harry? Glad that you did enjoy it. Yeah, thanks, guys. Glad that you all enjoyed the stream. You're welcome for everybody saying thank you in the chat. I'll see you all in the next video. Stay well, stay positive. Don't let the low prices affect you. We should bounce from here. And yeah, if you're in some scalp longs like myself, they are looking quite good right now. I just realized I'm not showing my screen